every time we're talking with people, we're wanting to lead to Christ, we're showing people how to follow Christ, we're pointing them to Christ. We're leading them to Christ. We're talking about Christ. I mean, in 2 Corinthians 3:18, I've been reading that this week, just this, the more we behold Christ, the more we become like Christ. That's how people are going to become more like Christ. They're going to become disciples of Christ by seeing Christ more and more and more. So not just reading a book or whatever, just to read a book, or not just reading the Bible, but to read the Bible to see Christ, to use any other resources in order to help us see Christ better, and just make sure that Jesus is central in everything you're talking about. You're praying, like everything's fixed on Christ.
Otherwise, people will become over-dependent on us. And I think, honestly, sometimes we like that, you know, versus, I mean, the truth is what I want to see is I want people getting alone with Jesus, alone with that word, and going, God, this is what I see. This is what I see. I got to go do this. I want my children to get to that point where it's not Dad's leading me to do this and so dependent on Dad's relationship with it. It's like, no, they know how to get alone with the word and just go, I got to do this because Jesus, this is what you are calling me to. And we have to transfer people to that. Otherwise, they're constantly dependent on us, and that's going to kill them. It's going to weaken the church. It's going to cause that person to never reach their potential. We have to keep pushing people towards that relationship with God. I mean, those of us who have experienced that, who have drawn our strength from that, I am so glad my leaders did not make me dependent on them, but they taught me how to be dependent on Jesus. And so now I cherish that time alone with God. Those are the greatest times in my life, are those times alone with Jesus. And so if I don't make Christ central, I'm keeping from them the greatest thing in their life, that relationship with Jesus and that dependence on Him and their ability to walk alone with Jesus.
And if we're not careful, we can set up these artificial markers in disciple making and being disciple of Jesus. Okay, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. Even from the very beginning, okay, we've prayed this prayer, we've done this, now we're reading the Bible. The question is, do we know Jesus? And do the people we're walking alongside, do we love Jesus more week after week after week? Because we don't want to get to the end and I mean, I think about Jesus when He says to the Pharisees, I mean, you travel all over the place making disciples, but you're making disciples of yourselves, and they're going to hell as a result. Like, there are people who will stand before Jesus and say, I did all these things, and He'll say, I never knew you. Like, no, we want people to know Jesus.
Yeah.